Hi guys, how's it going? Welcome back. So today I'm going to be doing a video all about my favorite high-end products and the high-end products that I think are totally worth every single penny. I know a lot of people do this type of video, but I feel like it's good to have a lot of opinions. That way when you're ready to spend your money on something a little bit more pricey, you know that you want it, you know that it's good quality. So I figured I would share with you my opinions. I'm going to get started with the Urban Decay Primer Potion in Eden. This is probably the one product that I've used consistently the longest. I started using this when I first started my channel, and ever since then, like, this is my eyeshadow primer. I rarely use anything different. This is a matte cream eyeshadow primer, so it's going to cover any discoloration and veins that you have on your lid, and it's also going to mattify. So I totally understand why people think this is drying. What I like to do is just I use the Maybelline Dream Wonder powder because it's more on the like creamy side of powders. It's not creamy, but you know, it's very soft. And I just set the primer with that, and my eyeshadows come out beautifully. They're not patchy. So I highly recommend doing that if you think this is a little dry, but it's awesome. It keeps my eyeshadows on all day. Like, I can't even describe it. And they look good all day. Now I'm going to move on to a brow product. This is by Anastasia Beverly Hills, and it's her Brow Wiz in dark brown. It used to be called brunette, but she switched up the color, so now it's dark brown. I think it's awesome that drugstore brands are coming out with brow products, but nothing will compare to the Anastasia Brow Wiz. Like, nothing. The consistency is perfect, the color is perfect, and that's why I like it so much. A lot of the times the colors at the drugstore just they're all reddish tones, and I need that like ashy brown tone. So I highly recommend this. I think this will work for everybody. There's a color for everybody, and I just think it makes your brows look as natural as possible, and the consistency is just perfect. It doesn't look too waxy or too creamy. It's like right in the middle. I think she did an awesome job on these, and hey, I will continue to use this for the rest of my life. But it has a spoolie on one end and then the pencil on the other, and I do like that it's retractable too, so I don't have to sharpen it. I don't have a high-end foundation that I'm like head over heels for, so if you guys have any recommendations, let me know down below. I really want to try out a new high-end foundation. But as far as concealer goes, I have the MAC Mineralized Concealer in NC20, and this isn't super pricey. I feel like MAC is in the middle between like affordable and expensive. Not super expensive, but affordable and expensive, and then MAC is like right in between. But this concealer, I don't use it so much for under my eyes. I use it to cover up my acne and zits. This one is a really, really good one. It's not dry and cakey, and it gives really good coverage. It's very creamy. So if you have problems with acne, I highly suggest this one. It's a little brush applicator. So I just brush over, not over the acne or pimple, I brush on the side and then I blend it over with my finger. And this is just the best concealer. Okay, so now moving on to eyeshadows, and this was so hard for me because I have so many high-end eyeshadow palettes and I use so many of them, but I had to break it down to the ones that I use on a daily basis, ones that I will repurchase no matter what, and ones that I love, and I would be really upset if I lost them. So I'm going to start off with the Too Faced Natural Eye Palette. This is the old school packaging. It's in that cardboard box and it's like huge, but I've hit pan on several colors, actually just two, not several. But this is a perfect everyday palette, but it can also be a perfect like a nighttime palette as well. It's obviously all neutral, but I use it at least twice a week, and I love the transition color, which is Velvet Revolver, which I think is still in the newest packaging. Push Up, which is one of my all-time favorite eyeshadows. I love that one so much. It just has everything in here that you need. You have a blending shade, all over lid color, you have a transition color, you have crease colors. You can't go wrong with this palette. I'm in love with the Chocolate Bar palettes, but for some reason this is the one that I gravitate towards. If I'm like, oh, I don't know what to do, I want a neutral look, I use this one. I don't think about using the Chocolate Bar palettes. I'm not saying that they're not good, but I think this one is the one people will get the most use out of it. It's $36 and you can use it every single day. You can switch up your looks. It's so versatile and it's just an awesome palette. And like I said, I have tons and tons of neutral eyeshadow palettes, high end, but this is the one that just gets my attention every single time. Next up, I have the Urban Decay Naked 3 palette, and this was so hard because I have all three. Is the Naked Smoky a part of like the 1, 2, 3? No, I don't think so. I think it's just like Naked 1, 2, 3, you have the Naked Basics, now we have the Naked Smoky, but I think they're going to be coming out with a Naked 4, no? So anyway, out of the three, I love the Naked one so much, but at the end of the day, the Naked 3 is just so unique for me. I have the Maybelline Blush Nudes palette. I have the Coastal Scents Revealed 2 palette, which are very similar to this one, but at the end of the day, there's nothing like this one. The colors are amazing. I mean, Urban Decay shadows are perfect quality. They're great, they're blendable, they're creamy, they're super pigmented, and you get matte shades, you get shimmery shades, you get a satin shade. So for me, this is a high-end makeup product that is so worth the money. I use it on a daily, not a daily basis, I use it on a regular basis. I use it at least 2 times during the week for work. I love the way it makes my eyes pop. I think this palette goes great with green eyes, blue eyes, even brown eyes too, and tan skin, light skin. It's just my favorite naked palette, and I will continue to repurchase this. If I ever get through this, I'll repurchase it with no problem. I don't even have to think twice. I will buy it. Next eyeshadow palette that I'm going to show you is actually one that I haven't had for a really long time, but I've used it nonstop since I got it, and I already have 2 tutorials on it. You guys probably know what I'm going to talk about. The Lorac Unzipped. See? I've used this palette a lot since I got it. I use it a lot for work. I use it a lot at night. I think this is a great nighttime palette, and this is more on the like bronzy blush toned side of things. Like, it's not exactly like the Naked 3, because this has more like bronzy rosy tones, while the Naked 3 is like pinky rosy, you know what I mean? And this is, I think this will be great for everybody. Same thing, different, any type of eye color, any type of skin tone. I think this will be good for everybody. And these shadows are so pigmented. You actually have to be careful because they're so pigmented. And they're creamy, they blend beautifully. I'm so happy that my sister got this for me, because it's become one of my ultimate favorite palettes. Okay, so we're gonna move on to blushes now. I actually have 2 different brands here. MAC. I think MAC does a great job at their blushes. I have the mineral ones too, mineralized blushes too, but at the end of the day, I like these better. This is my little blush palette, and I have my peaches here and then my mauvey pinks up here. One that I think everybody should have is Mocha. I think every skin tone could totally pull that off, pale to dark chocolate skin. And then for the peaches, what is this one called? Crap, and I just dug my nail in it. MAC Melba. I think this is the perfect mix between peach and orange, and it even has a little tiny bit of mauve in there. I don't know if you guys can see it, but there's some pink in there, and I think it's the perfect mix between all of them. Obviously it has more orange and peach, but this color will also be good on all skin tones. I know I keep saying that, but it's true. I'm super pale, and this works really well for me, and even on chocolate dark skin tones, this will look even more gorgeous. So it's a great blush. They're super pigmented, they're matte. Both of these shades are matte. They're great quality. You can't go wrong with MAC blushes. They're 20 bucks, I think, and they blend well, they're pigmented. You can find pretty much any color that you want. They have a ton of different options, but those 2 by far are great. Moving on to the next brand of blushes that I think are totally worth the money. I have the Becca blush in Flowerchild. I got this, I think this was my first Becca product, but it is a beautiful peachy pink color, and it's very creamy. They're really pigmented, so you have to be careful sometimes, but this also has shimmer, but it doesn't have a ton of shimmer in it where it's like you have shimmer across your whole face. It's really pretty, gives a really beautiful sheen, a nice glow, and I love the color. It goes with a lot of looks. Like, seriously, you can use this with almost everything and anything. The next Becca product that I have is actually a Shimmering Skin Perfector. This is Rose Gold. This is actually supposed to be a highlighter, but I use it as a blush. So when I use a MAC matte blush, to give myself some glow and a nice sheen, I will take Rose Gold and just put it right over the matte blush, which it's like a blush topper really. And it just, because I use a really matte foundation, I don't want to have like a super matte face. That's why I like to add a little sheen, so I use this. Sometimes I will use it on its own, which I really love too when I'm doing like a neutrally look. But yeah, I love this. I think it's totally worth every single penny. So the next product that I'm going to show you is like my baby, and I use it every day, and I always want to switch it up, but I just can't because I love it so much. This is the Kat Von D Shade and Light palette, and I use it a ton in my tutorials, and I know you guys are probably so tired of hearing me talk about this, but I love it so much, so I just can't stop, you know what I mean? Oh, this is just so sad. I hit pan on this yellow shade right here. I'm gonna cry. But, oh my god, I love this palette so much. The only 2 shades that I don't use are these 2, so I wish she'll just make a palette like this. That would be great. But I don't know what I can do with those 2. I'm just way too pale to contour with this shade. And this turns up it just ends up being peach on me because I'm way too pale. So I don't know, maybe I'll depot it and give them to people. Is that possible? Okay, anyway, I set my concealer and highlight my face with these two shades here. Obviously I like this one a little bit more, but I do use this light pink. I'm surprised I haven't hit pan on this because I do use it a lot. I also clean up my contour and also like my blush. I'll go like this with this yellow shade because it's so brightening, and this can work with a lot of skin tones. This is the shade that I contour with, and I do this every single day for work. I use it every single day, and I only use a little tiny bit because these are so pigmented. These shadows are so pigmented, it's kind of crazy, so you have to be careful. I dab my brush in it twice and then I like tap off the excess so I don't have like a huge like brown strip on my face. This is the color that I use to bronze up, so it adds a nice like orange, it just adds some color for me. This is also very pigmented too, and I just think this palette is, anybody can use it, and that's why I love it so much. What else was I gonna say? They're also a little powdery, like using this and then using the Anastasia one. This one is a little bit more powdery, but in a good way. It's not chalky, it's just a little bit powdery, and it's kind of creamier too, so it's almost like easier to use at the same time. It's a great palette. So now I just have lip products left, and the first one that I want to talk to you about is a MAC lip liner, specifically in Soar. This is just their regular lip pencil. This is Soar, and I use it all the time. It's that mauvey brownie color, and I love it. It doesn't, it helps so that the lipstick that I put on top doesn't feather up. I have a pretty strong Cupid's bow, I would say, so a lot of the lipsticks just feather so that I don't have a Cupid's bow. I don't like that, so this really helps keep the lipstick on my lips only. I mean, I'd use this by itself and I really like it too. It's a good lip pencil. They are on the drier side, which I like because that means it's not moving anywhere and it doesn't feel uncomfortable either. But it's also a little bit creamy at the same time. More dry than creamy, but it's still pretty good. MAC matte lipsticks. The one that I'm showing you today, when I first bought it, I didn't think I would love it as much as I do because I only got it for one reason. If you mix Soar and matte HoneyLove, you get that Kylie Jenner lip, but I find myself using this lipstick on top of like a lot of lip liners. I'm just like, what am I gonna wear? Oh, I'll just use HoneyLove. It's just a really pretty, like, it's a peachy nude, but it's a lighter peachy nude. Do you guys see it? With MAC lipsticks, they're matte, but they're not super uncomfortable, and they last for a really long time. So I like that. I like that they last, that they don't get super dry and cracky, but they still have that creamy texture to it, and they don't end up everywhere on my face. So MAC does an awesome job at matte lipsticks. They do. Okay, I cannot talk anymore, so I'm happy. I only have 2 products left. These are both liquid lipsticks by Kat Von D. My favorite one is obviously Lolita. I love this guy so much. It's a really pretty mauvey brownie lip, and it's one of my favorites, and when that runs out, I'm going to Sephora and buying another one, even though they'll probably be sold out, but I'll find it. And then the other one, which I'm wearing today, is Lovesick. I always call this Love Struck because I cannot see the name on the bottle. Kat Von D, you gotta get it together. Put the name on the actual bottle, not here because I cannot see it at all. So this is like an everyday light pinky mauve shade. If you're not comfortable with liquid lipsticks, when you first use this, you're probably not gonna like it, but if you start to just try out different brands of liquid lipsticks, you're gonna find that this formula is the best. Like, I know that it's on my lips, but it's a little dry, to be honest, but I don't feel it like when I'm talking. But these are so good and creamy, and they last for a really long time. I don't have to worry about checking in the mirror every 5 minutes because I know it's on my lips and I know it looks good, and they don't feel bad, so I'm not like touching my lips all night long. So those were all of the high-end makeup products that I think are totally worth the money, totally worth the splurge. Let me know what you guys think. What are your favorite high-end products? I would love to know. That way I can try them out. Don't forget to let me know what a good high-end foundation is. I would love to try it. Also, check out my Instagram for a ton of cool pics, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye!